This is Randy Snow from the world of football, and today I'm going to be talking about the history of the Arena Football League. The Arena Football League was born on February 11th, 1984. That's when Jim Foster, who was working in the NFL's marketing department, attended the Major Indoor Soccer League's All-Star Game at Madison Square Garden in New York. As he watched the soccer game being played on a hockey-sized field, he wondered if football could be played on the same size field. He took out a manila envelope from his briefcase and began drawing a 50-yard football field with rebound nets at each end to keep the ball from going into the stands. He also wrote some notes on how the game would be played with 8 players on each team. After a few test games were played in Illinois using semi-pro players, the AFL played its first season in 1987 with just 4 teams: the Chicago Bruisers, Washington Commandos, Pittsburgh Gladiators, and Denver Dynamite. They played a 6-game regular season schedule, and the 2 teams with the best records faced off against each other in the championship game called the Arena Bowl. Arena Bowl 1 was played on August 1st, 1987, in Pittsburgh between the Denver Dynamite and the Pittsburgh Gladiators. Both teams had 4-2 records. Denver won the inaugural Arena Bowl title 45-16. In 1988, the league fielded 6 teams and played a 12-game regular season schedule. One of those teams was the Detroit Drive, an early powerhouse in the league. They would go on to play in 6 straight Arena Bowl championship games from 1988 to 1992, winning 4 of them. On March 27, 1990, Jim Foster was awarded U.S. patent number 4911443 for the Arena Football Gaming System. It was also patented in Canada, Japan, and Mexico. It is the only sport in the world to ever receive a U.S. patent. In 2000, the AFL created its own developmental league called Arena Football 2, or AF2 for short. It played the same style of game, but in smaller market cities. It started out with 15 teams in 2000 and ballooned up to 34 teams in 2002. Over the years, many teams from across the country came and went in the AFL. At its highest point, the AFL fielded 19 teams in 2004. There was even a team in Canada called the Toronto Phantoms in 2001 and 2002. Celebrity owners were also a part of the AFL, including John Bon Jovi and Ron Jaworski, who owned the Philadelphia Soul, John Elway, who owned the Colorado Crush, Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons of Kiss, who owned, ironically enough, the LA Kiss. Vince Neil of Motley Crue owned a team called the Las Vegas Outlaws, and country singer Tim McGraw was part of the Nashville Cats ownership group. The AFL shut down after the 2008 season due to financial troubles, but the AF2 continued to play in 2009. In 2010, the AF2 rebranded itself as the new AFL and fielded 15 teams, which consisted of a combination of AFL and AF2 teams. The AFL continued to play through 2019 before the league shut down once again. Arena Bowl 32 was the final game played on August 11, 2019. It saw the Albany Empire defeat the Philadelphia Soul 45-27. The most famous player to come out of the AFL has to be quarterback Kurt Warner. He played for the Iowa Barnstormers for 3 seasons from 1995 to 1997 and led the team to back-to-back Arena Bowl appearances in 1996 and 1997. He would go on to win Super Bowl 34 with the St. Louis Rams. Other great players who came out of the AFL were quarterbacks Cedric Bonner, Clint Dozel, and Aaron Garcia. Others included wide receiver linebacker Hunky Cooper, wide receiver touchdown Eddie Brown, wide receiver defensive back Barry Wagner, offensive specialist George LaFrance, and quarterback and later AFL head coach Jay Gruden. The Arena Football League's 32 seasons are third in the number of pro football seasons ever played, behind only the NFL and the Canadian Football League. Earlier this year, it was announced that the Arena Football League was coming back in 2024. There's still a lot we don't know about its return, including which cities and teams will be playing at the restart. Regardless, This is an exciting time for everyone who loved the league during its first 32 seasons. For myself and for many other fans around the world, 2024 can't come soon enough.